In October of 2022, Japan eased their travel restrictions and opened their borders to foreign travelers once again. With reasonably priced round-trip tickets and a favorable exchange rate from US dollars to yen, we jumped at the opportunity to book a trip back to Japan. For this trip, we wanted to explore places that we had not yet visited in addition to fitting in some of our old favorites. We decided to bookend our trip with one-night stays in Tokyo, since we were flying in and out of Tokyo's Narita airport. Then it was off to Osaka to experience food, fun, and nightlife. From Osaka, we took a spontaneous day trip to Kyoto for a little change of scenery, and then we traveled to the quaint mountain town of Takayama, where we stayed in a ryokan, or traditional Japanese inn. We ended our trip by traveling further into the Japan Alps and soaking our travel-weary bones in some beautiful natural hot springs, or onsen, before heading back to Tokyo. To get to Osaka, we chose to travel by Shinkansen, or bullet train, which takes about 2.5 to 3 hours depending on which train you take. A couple tips for the ride. Try to get seats on the right side of the train when traveling from Tokyo to Osaka or Kyoto, and hopefully you'll get a glimpse of Mount Fuji, which is often shrouded in clouds. Also, make sure to pick up an ekiben from the station prior to boarding the train. Ekiben, which is derived from the words eki, or station, and ben, short for bento, are elaborately prepared delicious meals to go. And be sure to grab a drink to go as well, because yep, alcohol's allowed on the train.
Osaka, Japan's second largest metropolitan area, renowned for its great street food and simply a delight for all the senses. Of course, the touristy areas are crowded and you may have to wait in line to nab some takoyaki or snap the obligatory Instagram shot in front of the famous Glico Running Man sign. Luckily, there's no shortage of photo ops or food and drink options here, and other unexpected surprises for that matter. Ditching the crowds at Dotonbori, we made our way to the Uranamba neighborhood and stumbled upon this gem called Torome Yokocho. Reminiscent of the tiny pubs and restaurants that line the packed, narrow alleyways, or yokocho, of Japan's big cities, this indoor dining hall is comprised of small food stalls which offer diners a variety of options like sushi and yakitori, along with some Osaka staples such as okonomiyaki and kushikatsu. Okonomiyaki is a savory pancake dish made with wheat flour batter mixed with cabbage and a protein of your choice. Once everything is cooked, the whole thing is brushed with a sweet soy glaze, drizzled with mayo, then topped with bonito flakes. That's amazing. Afterwards, we made our way to the neighboring Misono building. Here, the entire second floor is lined with tiny bars, each with a different feel and vibe. And you never know what awaits behind each door unless you peek inside.
The following morning, we decided to stroll through Kuruman Market and sample the food from various stalls there for breakfast. This sprawling market is lined with shops selling a variety of goods, but the fresh seafood here was at the top of our list.
We have some sea urchin here, which Amy is about to try. And she usually does not like uni, so we'll see how this goes.
I tried it many years ago and didn't like it, but I'm absolutely willing to try it again, so
Cool.
here goes. Probably shouldn't smell it, I should just
No, just eat it.
It actually tastes delicious.
Really?
It does. Yeah.
All right, here goes nothing. Nice. Cool.
I guess I like uni.
All right. All right, Amy is about to try some Sazae, which I really don't know what the translation is. I think it's some kind of a mollusky. There you go. Crunchy.
It's delicious. It's barbecued. Very crunchy. Don't know how to compare it, but
I know.
it's delicious.
Abalone-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But seafood was not the only thing on the menu, and this food stall selling skewers of Wagyu beef was a welcome treat. Wagyu beef is prized for its tenderness and rich buttery taste thanks to its perfect marbling throughout. Because of this, it's also notorious for its high price tag.
So we just got our A5 Kobe beef skewer with some sushi as well. Let's see if it's worth the hype. Oh man, that's super tender. Yum.
After breakfast, we spent the day strolling through different neighborhoods and then made our way to the quaint but striking Namba Yasaka Shrine. It wasn't long before the hunger pangs kicked in, so we made our way back to Dotonbori to indulge in another quintessential Osaka specialty and one of my favorite snacks, takoyaki. Takoyaki are delicious wheat flour dough balls filled with octopus chunks that are cooked until the insides are hot enough to melt the skin off the roof of your mouth. It's best to let the takoyaki cool for a bit, but I guess all reasoning goes out the window when you're hungry. While searching for a proper sit-down dining experience, we came across this sign and decided to take a peek, and we were glad that we did. Introducing Top Rank, a cozy little bar dedicated to the owner's love for jazz, still going strong after 40 years of being open. We hung out for a bit, sampled a few Japanese whiskeys, and enjoyed the cozy atmosphere and lively jazz soundtrack. But it was time to continue our search for a place to have dinner. And that's when we happened upon this tiny little restaurant called Yume Tonbo, roughly translated as Dream Dragonfly. This place was slightly larger than a phone booth, Literally. I mean, it could fit 4, maybe 5 people comfortably, tops, and that's including the chef. Luckily, we were the only ones here this night, and what a memorable dining experience it was.
It's Wagyu.
Though there is much more to see and do in Osaka, we opted to take a day trip to Kyoto on our last day in the Kansai region. So we hopped on another bullet train the next morning, which whisked us to the cultural capital of Japan, only 30 minutes away. With its rural feel and abundance of historical sites and amazing temples and shrines to explore, Kyoto provides visitors a hint of what old Japan may have looked and felt like, which for us was a nice contrast to the modern and lively big city vibe of Osaka. And while one day is not nearly enough time to experience all that Kyoto has to offer, we were able to revisit a few of our favorite sites, starting with Fushimi Inari Shrine. Fushimi Inari is a picturesque shrine known around the world for the thousands of torii gates which straddle the network of trails that wind through the shrine grounds and up into the forest of Mount Inari. Here, worshippers and tourists alike pray for bountiful harvests, prosperity, and for the safety of loved ones. Next, we headed to one of our favorite neighborhoods of Kyoto, the historic Higashiyama district. Here, you're seemingly transported back in time as you wander the winding path with views of an ancient pagoda. The walkways are lined with old traditional wooden buildings, small shops, cafes and restaurants, and you're bound to stumble across a temple or two while you're exploring the area. Where else but Japan can you find a vending machine that sells beer? Alas, it was time for us to head back to get ready for our busy travel day the next morning. But not until after a quick nightcap.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to follow along on our adventures. Stay tuned for part 2 of our Japan travel series as we leave the big city of Osaka and travel to the more rustic mountain towns of Takayama and Shinhotaka, where we enjoy the hospitality staying in traditional Japanese inns and soak in the beautiful natural hot springs.